VP sir. Good evening, VP sir.
Madam Jalja, madam, good evening.
Okay, sir.
How many batches are there, madam?
So, Akhilesh, how many batches, pa?
The teams, ma'am.
Yeah, the sir is asking.
As of now, it's only two, sir, because it was a last minute preparation for the club. So it's only two, and I've not seen many of them have joined still, sir.
Let them join.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Akhilesh, can we start? Maybe principal is busy. Is not picking up the call.
Sir had actually just joined and left, ma'am.
Okay. Call him.
Yeah, yeah, if you can call him, just we'll wait for 2 minutes.
Hmm.
Still, how many more supposed to join?
Sir, 1 second, let me check, sir. Yeah, I see one team has already joined. That is Kirtik. No, not Kirtik. How is it?
I think
Disha, can you just read out the list if someone is there? Yeah, I think Karthik team is there, right?
Yeah, Akhilesh. Kartika and team are here.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sir. One team is there, sir.
start.
Yeah, we can start, ma'am.
Akhilesh, can we start?
Yes, ma'am, we can start. One team has arrived already, so we can go on.
Yeah. Other person can call other team also. By that time, Disha can start.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening to one and all present here. The IEEE Society of Bangalore Institute of Technology extends its warm greetings of welcome to our principal, Dr. Ashwath MU, sir, our chief guest, Dr. Vijaya Prakash, sir, professor and PG coordinator, research dean, BIT, and faculty advisor for the IEEE Society of BIT, Dr. Jalaja S., IEEE BIT student branch counselors, all the honorable faculties and our students. We, the IEEE Society of Bangalore Institute of Technology, take privilege in hosting the National Voters' Day to signify the importance of making these elections more interactive, inclusive, accessible, and participative. Let's now begin the event. Elections are the essence of democracy. They are built, upheld on the basis of sensitization through education and interactive involvement of all the communities. India is now celebrating its 12th National Voters' Day today on 25th January 2022 on the theme of making elections more interactive and accessible. 25th January marks the foundation day of the Election Commission of India, the ECI. The commission was established on this day in 1950 as an autonomous body under the ownership of the Ministry of Law and Justice that aims to ensure free and fair elections to all members of the community and citizens in the country. The day is commemorated to raise awareness about the importance of voting in democratic society and to educate people about their right to vote. The goal of National Voters' Day is to encourage young people and youth to participate in the democratic process, and the day was developed to remind the young people of the country that it is their turn to actively participate in all the election processes and to get eligible voters out of their homes to exercise their fundamental rights. This year's NVD theme, that is making elections inclusive, accessible, and participative, focuses on ECI's dedication to facilitating active voter involvement during elections and making the entire process of election hassle-free and memorable for all voters of a community. Election Commission of India has also advised the government to issue necessary instructions to schools and educational institutions to observe National Voters' Day for the purpose of instilling democratic values throughout the organization of events like debates, discussions, and competitions. The youth, women, and historically marginalized groups, the minorities, and indigenous people, inclusion and participation in election processes are thus very critical tools for strengthening the democratic processes in the society. We now request all the participants to join the discussion and put forward their points. I think we have Kartika and team here.
Kartika, you can go ahead with
Kartika, Haripriya, and Kirtika, I guess. So, guys, you can start speaking on the topic. It's just going to be a general discussion. You can start.
Akhilesh. They are there or they left?
They're there, mom. They're there in the meeting. It's just, I think, some network issue with their end.
Hmm.
There.
Kartika, can you hear us? Can you just put it in the chat box if you can? Okay, no issues. Disha, just go on with the participants. Just ask a few questions and proceed on. We'll get back to them soon.
Yeah, Kiresh. So we would like to question a few of the participants here. So could you just suggest a few plans on bringing about the awareness in the campaign, like how you would bring about the change personally in the campaign or for the overall development and progress of this
Sir,
campaign?
can I start, sir?
Yes, Gagan. Yeah,
Yeah, you guys
yeah, go
can.
ahead, Gagan. Yes.
Introduce yourself and start.
Gagan? Gagan, you can speak.
Hello.
Yeah, Gagan, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Gagan. You unmute yourself first, Gagan.
Hello. 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 Hello.
So, Gagan, your voice is breaking.
We can hear you, Gagan. You can just start speaking.
Hello. Hello.
I can proceed, Gagan. Can hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Gagan, you're audible. You can go ahead.
Gagan, you can start.
Disham, principal says that you can give an introduction. I guess he just joined it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Is my voice audible?
Yeah, Disha, you can proceed.
Yes, sir. We would like you to address the gathering regarding the election theme today, making elections accessible, more interactive, and participative.
Sir has left, dude. Sir has left. It's okay. Sir has left the meeting.
Yeah, Gagan, you can just start and we can continue later. You can just start with your presentation. Yeah.
No issues. So I have one more team. So Parthiv, Naveen, and I think what's up? Are you guys there?
Yeah, Akhilesh, we're here. We are there.
Yeah, you guys can start the event. Yes, you can start the discussion.
So, shall I go first, guys?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can, Naveen.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm Naveen Natraj. Sorry for the short preparation time. We were not able to prepare any slides as such. Uh, I have basically three main points. My first point is to reduce the size of our constituencies. Basically, we have very huge constituencies, especially in cities. The ratio of number of voters to the number of leader is very high. If we decrease that area, that ratio, and if we can have one politician for a small layout, I think that will help us to increase the number of voters actually, because they'll be having a sense of belonging. People will be having a sense of belonging with their leader. So that's my first point. And my second point is the politicians should be from the same area from where they're contesting from. So that will again enhance the belonging of the politicians. My third point is blockchain-based elections. Blockchain is basically a new emerging technology where things can happen in a very safe way, and the possibility of hacking into blockchain is very, very difficult. And because of that, we can have elections which can be based on blockchain. And there are many countries which have started to implement this as well. So when we have voters voting online, that will also help us to increase the election capacity. So these are my 3 points. I think Vatsa and Parthiv can continue.
Yeah,
Oh
Parthiv, you
yeah,
can go ahead.
yeah, sure. So good evening all. I'm Parthiv Kamath. Hope I'm audible. Can anyone confirm?
Yeah,
Yes, you're audible. Go on.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So guys, first I would like to state some facts. So the voter turnout for recent 2019 Lok Sabha elections was just 67%. Now, this means that only 67% of the total population exercised their voting rights. So what happens is usually we as individuals feel that a single vote is not of much consequence, right? Uh, but if every individual starts thinking in this manner, don't you guys think that this will lead to a large section of people end up without voting? Yes, right? So here I would like to state some of the ways of how to make election accessible to all fragments of people in this country. So firstly, we can facilitate the polling stations with like for person with disabilities. So this means like all polling stations should be equipped with enough supply of wheelchairs so that the person with disabilities don't find any problem. And in turn, it would encourage them also to be a part or vote. And similarly, the EVMs, that is the electronic voting machines, it must have a braille signage so that it would help visually impaired voters. And similarly, I would suggest that near polling stations, there must be some basic facilities such as clean drinking water, toilet, etc. So what happens is in many states, people refrain from voting due to security issues. So election commission must ensure that proper number of security personnel are posted to all the polling stations. And this is my personal request. Like I think all like whoever students are in the college which comes under VTU, we should score or gain 100 points, activity points, right? So we can gain this, like this is one of the suggestion that I would like to make. We can gain this in this way, like we can go to villages because what happens is in villages most of the people, they're not aware of the intensity of or the importance of the election. So we can help rural people to understand that voting is not just a day where people go and vote. It is like that single day whichever government you vote, like the consequence will be there for 5 years. So if we as youth be able to help or make rural people understand, so it would be a very great opportunity for us as well. And in this way we can also gain academic points, or sorry, the activity points. And similarly, what I would say is, like the present day generation, they think that politics means corruption, right? Well, it applies also to me, but the fact we should realize here is that corruption has seeped into every section. So it's not only politics, right? So it is high time that we as youth should understand politics actually means policy making for the nation, right? So hence it comes with utmost responsibility. So one more fact I would like to state here is average age of the present government, like the present cabinet, is 58 years. So hope you guys understood. This means that on an average, all the MPs, if you take their average, like their age, average of their ages, it is 58, which is a very high, right? Because India has world's largest youth population, and this implies that like this average 58 years implies that only a fraction of youth are involved in politics, which is not at all acceptable. So I would like to finally end by suggesting 2 points to the youth by which they can exercise or try to contest election. So maybe he or she can start reading newspaper or start watching news debates. So this way he or she will be able to understand things actually happening in the country politically. And finally, they can try to be a part of youth wing of some party, not a specific party. Just try to be a part of youth wing of some party and understand the election processes, so that in their near future they can be able to participate in the elections and help this country to go much forward. So finally, there is a proverb which states that if you give a poor man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach him fishing, you will feed him forever, right? So the essence of this proverb should be explained to the people who take money and vote. So if we as youth will be successful in making rural people understand this, then I think we have done a very good job. So thank you all. That is all I had.
Thank you, Parthiv. That was a very informative session. That was great. So I have Srivatsa next further to discuss on the topics.
Yeah, hi all. Good evening. This is Srivatsa from Fifth Sem EC. My talk of discussion is about topic of discussion is about one nation, one election, which our government with election commission is planning to implement in the near future. And I'm gonna talk about the demerits and merits of the this program, which is gonna happen in near future. So yeah, let's start. India, as we know, is a second largest country in the world and the first largest, largest democratic country in the world, surpassing China. China is a communist government, communist ruled country. So we all know how China works. So India is the largest democracy, and general elections of the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies are held at a gap of 5 years, which we all know. It is observed.
Srivatsa.
Yes, sir.
Srivatsa.
Sorry, there's some disturbance.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, bro, go on, go on.
So yeah, there was some disturbance. But it is observed that election is a whole year process in India. Government spends a lot of money, time, energy on conducting different elections. That is the reason that government of India is thinking to implement one nation, one election system in India. And let's talk about one nation, one election. What is one nation, one election? General elections of the Lok Sabha and state assemblies are held at a gap of 5 years in India. We all know this. But in addition to this, elections for different state assemblies are held in some states separately, but which put huge burden on the government and election commission. This takes a lot of manpower, and this actually makes the election process much difficult. But the present government is thinking to just conduct one election in the whole country in the gap of 5 years. History of one election, one nation, one election in India. Let's talk about how it's gonna happen in how it has happened in India, and if it happens in the future, how it's gonna happen. Let's think about it. If you think of the concept one nation, one election, it's not nothing. It's nothing new for India, because we in the years 1952, 57, 62, and 67 have already conducted one nation, one election program, which was not successful because the literacy rate at the time was very poor in India when British left India and sorry, can I talk? Can I continue?
Yes, Vatsa, yes. Go on, go on.
Uh, so while British left our India in the year 1947, the literacy rate of India was 13%. There was no much voter turnout as Parthiv earlier mentioned. So the system called one nation, one election in the years 1952, 57, 62, and 67 have been failed. So, and then this was discontinued. This practice was discontinued in the year 1968 and 69 because some legislative assemblies were dissolved earlier due to various reasons. Since then, India is trying hard to adopt the old system, but then there is no consensus among the political parties because they have some ideological differences and they don't believe in this one nation, one election. Since then, and then let's discuss about the merits of this one nation, one election. The first point will be obviously money saving because the conduction of election is a huge process in India because it's such a large democratic country and it really takes a huge manpower and huge financial uh, thing to do to conduct elections in India. So yeah, the first thing will be money saving. The biggest logic in the favor of this simultaneous election is like saving government money. Obviously, government money says it's the money of the people. So the cost burden of that government will eventually be on us. So in turn, it says if one nation one election happens, we'll be paying less money as compared to the present state. So there are 4,120 MLS in 31 states and union territories. Imagine how much money is gonna be, how much money government is gonna spend if to conduct this many elections for this many constituencies. The maximum expenditure limit for the bigger assemblies is like 28 lakhs. Guys, I would request everyone to please mute yourselves because it's actually really disturbing. So yeah, thank you. I'll continue. And if it means if all states and union territories go for one election, then its total cost would be around 11 billion. Imagine 11 billion rupees for a single election at different times. It really it's huge actually. So usually around 5 states go for polls every year. So this takes much government financially. It affects government financially. And the second merit of this one nation one election system would be PD development work. It is observed that when election model code of conduct is in force, then the inauguration of new project does not take place. So one-time election will ensure continuity in policies and programs of the central and state government. And check on black money. Yeah, this is the whole new point we are gonna discuss because we all know how much black money our politicians have in the Swiss bags and all. So yeah, the black money usage would gonna reduce. I'm sorry because there's this disturbance from person called Tejas. Tejas, please mute yourself.
Yeah, Tejas, please mute yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, it is an open secret that elections are fought with black money. Huge black turned into white money during elections in this country. So if the elections are conducted throughout the year, then there is a possibility that parallel economy will grow in the country. And the fourth merit would be smooth functioning of the government machinery. Concerned government deploys huge manpower and machinery to conduct free and fair elections in the country and the states. Schools and the colleges are open on time. Teachers and other officials are allowed to work in their respective departments with which ease the life of the general public and the efficiency of the governance. The fifth point would be efficiency of the governance. If the elections are not conducted annually, then the government need not to woo general public through lucrative schemes and make caste and religion-based programs. Even state and central government need not to prepare lucrative budget every year. They can take tough decisions for the betterment of economy. And I would come to the demerits of this one nation, one election. The first point would be local issues will fade out. It is observed that elections for state assemblies and Lok Sabha are fought on different issues. Regional parties target local issues while national parties target national issues. So there is possibility that regional parties will not be able to raise the local issues strongly. And the second point would be hard time to regional parties. Regional parties which will not be able to compete with the national parties in terms of election expenditure and election strategy. Assembly elections are closely associated with the local issues and local voters, since one-time election will not be accepted by the regional parties. And the third demerit would be delay in election results. At present, when almost all regional parties are demanding to conduct elections through ballot papers, if elections are conducted in one-time mode, then the election result will be declared very late. This would cause a problem in formation of government and the governance. And the fourth point would be constitutional problems. One-time election seems almost impossible due to democratic setup of the country. Suppose if elections are conducted simultaneously, then but it is not sure but that all states and central government will be formed by the full majority. It is also possible that some parties make alliance government which can fall in any time between 3 to 4 years, or it can be below 5 years. So yeah, there is a possibility of re-election in the whole country. And the fifth point would be requirement of huge machinery and resources. As we all discussed, one nation, one election requires huge manpower and huge financial assistance from government of central government. As we know that India is the largest democracy in the world, so it will be daunting task to conduct simultaneous elections in all states, union territories, and Lok Sabha constituencies. So yeah, and let's discuss in how many countries it's been successfully going on. In countries like Sweden, Indonesia, South Africa, Germany, Spain, Hungary, Belgium, Poland, Slovenia, Albania. In all these countries, one election, one nation, one election scheme is successfully. It's actually going on successfully, and we can discuss. We can contradict this because these countries are much smaller when compared to India. But yeah, there's a scope that we can make it successful for the large country like us also. So yeah. I think my opinion for this one nation one election scheme would be it's a good scheme, but it really needs a lot of background thinking and background implementation before implementing the scheme. So yeah, I would like to conclude my talk with this. So yeah, if anyone has any statements which are against or for, they can raise or support this. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Srivatsa. Can we have Kirtika Shetty to present her topics?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Kirtika. Go ahead.
Actually, I'm Kirtika. I'm studying in first year ISC. I was not knowing this is a interactive session. Sorry for that, and I'm not well prepared. I'll just express whatever I know about voting and all.
Yeah, sure, Kirtika.
Currently,
Go ahead.
like I like to say about the voting system in my village. Actually, like in my village, the people think that they're not actually they are holding the power. They think we are just voting. They are not much interested that they are not ruling the government, that someone else are ruling the government. They are just voting, but actually it's wrong, according to me. Like what how they're selecting the ruling, it depends on whom they select and all. So I wish to village people to be educated about the elections, and also the old peoples in a village, they are not at all attending the votes and all. And also it's very much misused in the village due to their illiteracy. Some of the most of the candidates, like they'll misguide the old age peoples and they get vote. I have seen that. So I have just one wish to literate all the village peoples to about the elections and importance of elections. And I see nowadays most of the youths are losing interest on election, because just they're thinking, why should we, they are like they are currently running busy in a 24-hour schedule, and they don't even have time to think about our nation, like just about the election system ruling. But actually, however, they'll come under this at any means. So I wish all youths must be most responsible about voting and all. They must be most careful, because the ruling of our nation is it's in youth's hand. um, that's it.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Kirtika Shetty. Now I would like Vijay Prakash sir to address the gathering here. Please, sir.
Disha,
Yes, sir.
anybody else is there?
Not for now, sir.
Guys, if
Okay.
anyone wants to still speak, you guys can speak.
Yeah, please go
Anyone?
ahead. Anyone?
I have two more points. Can I just
Go on.
share my
Yeah,
screen?
yeah,
Go on,
sure.
go on. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, talking about Kirtika's point, there's an app called My Neta app where you get the information of all the politicians basically. You know their background, their total assets, and you know the cases against them. You get all those information, so we can spread awareness about this app. So, and we must encourage everyone to download this app, and we should spread awareness. And my second point is there's an app called Voter Helpline it's by the Election Commission of India. But as you can see, the rating on this app is very low. You know, one star, one star, one star. And many of them are complaining that the app is not even working. So if we can get this app to work, it'd be of great use. So that's it from me.
Yeah, Naveen, that was great. Yeah. Thanks.
I mean,
Yeah, Disha, go on.
Disha, anybody else is there?
no, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Voluntarily, if anybody is ready to speak, so it's open.
Yeah, anyone would like to add any points or their views?
Yeah, I would like to add some few more points
You
related
introduce
to
yourself and proceed.
myself, Rohit TS, from
Yeah.
5th SEM ECC section. I would like to add few more points related to person with disabilities, which Parthiv already spoke about. What I feel is the main principle of the election commission is basically no voter has to be left behind. And there is also an article 325 which says no persons shall be ineligible for inclusion in the electoral roll based on religion, race, caste, sex, or everyone of that kind. So what I basically want to say is the electoral commission needs to create more basic facilities near the voting polls so that all the people can come there and they can cast their vote. And the person with disabilities, if the voting machinery, if it becomes difficult for them to come and vote, the election commission should take the initiative and make sure that the voting machinery will reach to the person with disabilities, and so that they can cast their vote and they will know the importance of vote. And also to increase the number of voting machineries in the in any district. If the number of voting machineries are more, so it will be accessible to more number of people so that they can come and they can cast their vote. And also to increase the awareness about voting in from primary school itself. If the students are given sufficient knowledge regarding the importance of voting, they will come forward and make sure that they will choose the right person, and they will can also encourage their parents who are living in rural areas to about the importance of vote, so that they can come and all the people can vote, cast their vote. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Rohit. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add anything?
Yeah, I would like to add one last point.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, see, most of the times in India, what happens is if your father or mother votes for a particular party, you without a second thought will vote for the same party, right? So, what my stand here is, so what is the reason for secret ballot in India? That is the reason the ballot is kept secret, right? Because like you do, previously you don't want to tell to which government you are gonna vote for. So my request here is to all the youth out here, just not go by what their parents say or what their parents, like father or mother says. Just note down, like in these 5 years, what were before the government came into existence, what were the promises they made in their manifestos, and how many of them they had successfully implemented. And if most of them they were able to implement, so it's better to vote for that party, right? Or else if they were not, then obviously it's better to bring a new party. So rather than voting on the basis of caste, religion, etc., please do look into the schemes that were implemented by the present government for 5 years, and how was it beneficial for you in particular, and do vote for that party, not based on family or based on some caste or anything. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Parthiv. Anyone else?
Okay, Disha,
Yes, sir.
if nobody else is there, I'll speak a few words.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Go ahead, please. Sir.
So, good evening, one and all. It's a very good interactive session. So today, 25th January, it's a National Voters Day. Some of the points I need to mention during this time actually. The first thing is, so youths, so the once if you cross the age of 18 years, first you should become a eligible voter. So here, what we can observe is majority of them. So why you want to vote? Why you want to become a voter? So that is the tradition that is developed by the youth. But you should not do that. Give awareness for all your friends such a way that everybody should become one of the eligible voter. That is the first thing what I want to mention. The second thing is, so here's whatever the election committee of India is insisting. So we have to follow that first of all. So majority of them spoke about the corruption. All politicians are corruptive. So that is the thing what they mentioned. Every day we people are talking like that only. But until unless, so if we are not selecting the right candidate, so definitely the nation is going to become the corruption. All politicians are going to become corruptions. So here's the average age. One of your classmates or one of your debatean mentioned that average age of the politician is 55 years. I too agree with that. If the average is 55 years, that indicates that you people or the youngsters are not coming for politics. So if that is the case, simply blaming others, if you're not contributing anything to the nation, so definitely it's not possible to improve over the voting scheme or voting pattern. So that's why we have to come forward. The youth should come forward such a way that they should not make the average age equal to 55 years. Voluntarily, you have to opt this. You should not feel yourself why you want to go for politics, because the entire politicians are corruptions. If everybody is all telling the same things, definitely we will going to clean the nation. So that's why, so my sincere advice is, so you become a good politician. You come to the politics, it's nothing wrong. So if you're having anything in your mind to serve the nation, you have to become a good politician. So that is things what I want to mention. And one more thing is, you have to give the awareness. For the illiterate people, you have to give the awareness such a way that everybody should vote. The average voting percentage is not crossing more than 70%. More than 70%, you take an examples in any election, it's not crossing more than 70%. Definitely, if that is the case, so all the corruptive politicians, so only those followers are voting. So neutral people are there, no, so they're not voting at all. So if that is the case, until unless if you're not increasing the voting percentage, definitely it's very difficult to clean any nation. So not only India, that's going to happen in any nation. So you youngsters, you have to give the awareness, not only for the local area, so rural area, for all your friend circles, you have to give the awareness such a way that the people should participate. At least those are interested. Those who are interested in politics, so you have to come forward. So then only it's possible there is a scope to improve the nations by voting or by selecting the good candidate. Then one more thing is, so is some of the politicians. So one of your classmate or one of the debater mentioned that reduce the constituency size. It's a good idea. Reduce the constituency size parallelly. We are going to increase. We are going to increase the amount of money what we are going to spend on the politicians. So instead of electing one person, you are going to elect two persons. Automatically, the total cost is also going up. That also you have to think properly. So that's all from my side. So it's very good interactive session. So some more people have to participate. So many are there. So only a few people have talked about that. Still, there is a scope. So one of the young participants, Kirtika Shetty, she spoke about, so in their village, the people are not allowing to vote, or the people only from the politician background, so they are coming forward for voting. So definitely it's happening in all the village, not only the village, even it's happening in the urban area also. So for that, what we're supposed to do is, so we have to give the awareness. As a youngsters, you have to give the awareness. Then only it's possible to curb. Then only it's possible to curb all these things. Okay, so it's very good interactive sessions. All the best. We can expect this type of sessions, more number of sessions like this. Not only is recording, so National Voters Day, so even the technical issues also comes. So you have to come forward. So this is how we are going to improve yourself. Thank you.
Thank you,
Isha?
sir. So yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
To make the session more
Jalja
interactive,
madam?
we'll just discuss about a few questions, and it's an open discussion.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
any
go
one
ahead,
of you
Disha.
can answer. Yeah,
Okay, okay, can proceed.
yeah, okay. So would any of you like to suggest a few ways of increasing today's youth involvement, and how you would bring awareness in this campaign by starting it from yourself, from your home? How would you start this campaign? Would any of you like to discuss a few points about this?
This is open to all.
Yeah. Yes, it's open to all. So anyone of you can add any of your points if you want. Yeah, okay. So as we all know, in this generation, social media would definitely be the powerhouse to share anything, anywhere around the world. So starting the campaign from yourself, a very good idea would be promoting all the good measures on social media. Here are some of the good campaigning promotion ideas. So first, you have to develop your brand. Make sure it defines who you are, what you are, and it should be ethical. Basically, it should be mainly ethical, and it should abide by all the laws which are mentioned in the Constitution. Second, you have to know about all the laws which are governing the political digital marketing, so that it should not cross laws or any laws as such. So the third one would be you should be specific about your audience and leverage targeted ads. Reaching people of voting age in your geographic area is very important. So we should reach out to as much as voting people, the youth in our society around us first, and then only we can reach the entire country. So it should basically start from our homes, our families, and then people around us. We should make sure the message reaches everyone out there easily, clearly, and it should be succinct and consistent across all the mediums. You should make sure your message is conveyed and your voice is there out in the public in a perfect way. Next is we can take the leverage of social media. As I mentioned, social media is essentially and fairly a very easy way and the most important way to build rapport with all kinds of supporters, sponsors, donors, and also the voters. Determine which social media platforms your target audiences use first and establish a connection with them, their presence. Some of the additional avenues you can consider is prepare websites for your views and you can share it to all the general public out there. You can use your cell phones to put out the text messages in general way, which would reach even all the village people and the people who are actually not so literate about all this. And as one of us mentioned today, reading about newsletters, all the email campaigns, all the newspapers and magazines related to this would definitely help all of us in promoting interactive elections. And lastly, we should have a proper measure of our goals and results. I think that's the most important point all of us know. We should know our goals. So we should keep track of our results and our goals. And lastly, you should know your feedback. You should take the feedback properly and how we can improve ourselves about this in the future for further discussion. Okay, so the last question and the main agenda of this meeting would be, I would request everyone here, it's open discussion, so anyone can put out your points. It's mainly about the importance of interactive elections in democracy. How important is actually the elections in democracy? Would anyone of you like to add a few points regarding this, the main agenda of today's discussion?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Myself, Preetik Shetty from ECE department. Actually, I was not prepared for this session. On the spot, I came up with some of the ideas after listening to my friends Parthiv, Srivastava and all. So I would like to add some of the points regarding this discussion. Actually, making the voting system, interactive depends both upon our rules and regulations that is set up by the election commission, as well as we citizens, we youths. Actually speaking, there are number of challenges in the society, because whenever an election comes, it usually depends more on money, as of I have seen in the practical cases, where even if in a by-election also they'll spend lakhs and crores of money. But I think having such a challenge also, we can somewhere come up with a good idea and stop the corruption. Like for example, I would like to give an example of this situation, wherein I heard a speech from our own leader from Mangalore. Actually, specifically speaking, Kota Srinivas Pujari. Actually, he came up with a speech wherein he said, long years ago, there was a politician, I don't remember his name. Actually, he was coming from a very poor background. Even though coming from a poor background, he actually wanted to contest the election. So he didn't have a single rupee to pay for to contest the election, what we call a Tevani or something like that. To that also he didn't have money. So what he did was he carried a bag, went to each one of the house, begged for the money to participate in the election. So by collecting those money, he contested in the election, and he won the election. So such examples are actually very important for our youths. Yeah, even though having a great challenges, yes, I agree that it happened long years ago. But in the present situation, having money as the main agenda for election, I think it's really difficult. But somewhere the possibility is there. I think, according to me, by joining some of the sanghas groups, wherein which helps in public welfare, there are a number of such groups which help in uh, you know helping the needy people, poor people. So youth should be more encouraged to participate in such groups. um, and that's what I would like to say. And there are, yes, I agree that the present situation has many challenges. Like some of the rules should be amended properly, like where why you know the proper punishment should be given to the people who are involved in like spending the money. Usually we hear in the time of by-elections, such amount is going to be distributed. At that point of time, it should be brought to the election commission, and they have to take collective decision. Proper punishment should be given to such a politicians. In that way, it will create an awareness among people that money is not only the thing that is helping to become a good leader. Such messages should be passed on to people. That will, I think, encourage the youths. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, Pritik, proceed.
Yes, sir. Sir, and further adding on to some of the points given by my friends, like actually what Shivasa said was one rule, I mean one election for the whole country, or one country, one election. Actually, I feel that personally feel that there is a drawback in that um, idea, because what I think, first of all, we have a complaint that once after 5 years only we see the face of the politicians. Once they get elected, next time we will see them only after 5 years. And most probably what happens is, in Vidhan Sabha election and Lok Sabha election, if they are conducted only once, then it will not create a sense of fear in the minds of leaders. For example, let me give the practical example. Don't take it personally, anyone. Don't take it personally for any party or something. Like now, coming 2023 election, we have a Lok Sabha, our Vidhan Sabha election. In the 24, we have Lok Sabha election. If the and coming, we have a five election for the other states also come in the coming month. If the party loses in the state, then the central government will usually have a fear. And now we can say that if in the present Karnataka government, if it fails to give a proper rule to the citizens of Karnataka, and if that will surely create a fear in the mind of the central government of losing their party in the particular states. So they will work to give a good rule or something like that. And so accordingly there will be a development in the country, I think. And if you have only one election, then it will be like for example, I can give you a clear example. If we don't have internals in our college, and directly if you have an external, comparing to that situation, wherein we will not be preparing for our internals, then which will surely affect our externals. Like that, giving that same example, we can say that there will be no much awareness among the youths. If you have a local body election in some particular time and Lok Sabha election in the some other particular time, then usually in whole of the 5 years, people will be somewhere involved in the politics, somewhere or the other. Like for our local body elections, they will be involved, so that throughout their life or something, they will be involved in something or the other. In that way, it can be, I think, helpful, like conducting election each of the time. Yeah, I agree, there are also some good points about that, reducing the cost, etc, etc. But somewhere before implementing the one election, one nation, they should be thought of the drawbacks more, I suppose. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, thank you so
Yes,
much.
Pritik, that was great.
Yeah, guys,
Okay.
sorry for disturbing. I would like to add one last point, if time permits. Can I?
Sure, sure, go on this time.
Yeah, okay. So as I pointed out previously, youth usually don't enter into politics, right? So, and even the fraction of youth who are actually interested in politics, they refrain from entering it because they don't have the knowledge about it, right? It's very obvious. If you don't have a knowledge of a particular thing, you restrain to go. As they say, like, if only when you know the rules of a game, you will be able to excel in it. So how to know these rules and regulations regarding election is, I would like to state two programs which is going on a large scale in India right now. So one of the program is Youth Can Lead, that is being led by Tejasvi Surya, who is a Bangalore South MP. So I'll repeat once again: Youth Can Lead by Tejasvi Surya, and Youth in Politics by Prashant Kishore. So irrespective of the party, guys, you don't see the party, just try to be a part of any one of it, just to know some of the rules and regulations. Because only when you know the rules of the game, as I said, you will be able to win the game. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Partha. So we would like to appreciate everyone who for the dedication towards the event today. And the IEEE Society of BIT would like to extend its gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Vijay Prakash sir, our principal Ashwath MU sir, and Jalja ma'am for the valuable time. And we really appreciate all the dedication from all the participants here. And the appreciation certificate would be issued accordingly to this. And we would also like to thank all the faculty, students for making this event a success. I would like to request all the participants to switch on your videos for a moment, please. Guys, everyone, please switch on the videos for a moment. Yeah, thank you so much.
Disha, ask sir to announce who is the winner.
Yes, ma'am. We would like to request Vijay Prakash sir to announce the winner, and they'll be receiving the appreciation certificate from the IEEE Society of BIT. Please, sir.
Disha, it's only one or so having so multiple winner? Position 1, position 2 like that?
Yes, sir. You can give it like that. Yeah.
At least 2 or 3 you can announce now. Jalja madam, so
Yes,
what's
sir.
your
2
plan?
you can announce, sir. 2 you
3
can.
no?
Yeah, yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Dear students, it's a very tough job actually. Everybody spoke about so National Voters Day. It's very good interactive session, but there is no other options. Among the participants, we have to announce 2 best speaker. The second position goes to Naveen Natraj. He spoke
you, sir.
about how to reduce the constituency size. So he spoke about how to introduce the blockchain technology. So voters and even as a leader from the same area. It's a good point. Some of the good point he mentioned. The second position goes to Naveen Natraj. The first position goes to Srivatsa. Srivatsa elaborately spoke about, so with the numericals, so which are the nations, so what is the voters are there, what is the total number of voters, everything he spoke about that. And even it was mentioned about one elections, one nation. Some of the good ideas he mentioned about that. So first position goes to Srivatsa. So even the remaining, so all other teams also spoke about so National Voters Day, so fantastically. But so among the participants, we selected the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank
guys,
you,
who
Disha.
just participated in this event, can you please pin down your mail IDs in the chat box? Only the participants who have spoken till now, so that you would get your certificates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ronald.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam.